Welcome to lecture 4 of our UPSC Sociology optional series. Today, we will discuss an important topic, sociology as a science. Since the emergence of sociology, scholars have debated whether sociology can be regarded as a science like physics, chemistry, or biology. In this lecture, we will examine the arguments supporting and opposing the scientific nature of sociology and understand why sociology is considered as a social science. One of the central debates in sociology is whether it qualifies as a science. Sociology studies society, social relationships, institutions, and human behavior. Since it studies human beings rather than natural objects, some scholars question its scientific status. However, many sociologists argue that sociology follows scientific methods and therefore deserves recognition as a science. To understand this debate, we must first understand what science means. Science is a systematic body of knowledge developed through observation, evidence, experimentation, and logical reasoning. Scientific knowledge is based on facts rather than personal opinions or beliefs. Scientists observe phenomena, collect data, formulate hypotheses, and verify conclusions through research. The natural sciences such as physics, chemistry, and biology are examples of disciplines that follow scientific methods to explain natural phenomena. Science possesses several important characteristics. First, it is systematic, meaning that research follows an organized process. Second, it is objective, which means findings should not be influenced by personal biases. Third, it is empirical, based on observation and evidence. Fourth, it is verifiable, allowing other researchers to test the findings. Finally, science is logical and predictive, helping us understand relationships between causes and effects. These characteristics help make scientific knowledge reliable and trustworthy. Many sociologists consider sociology as science because it studies social phenomena systematically. Sociologists collect information, analyze social facts, and develop theories based on evidence. They do not rely solely on assumptions or common sense beliefs. Instead, they use scientific methods to understand society. Sociology seeks to identify patterns and regularities in social behavior, making it similar to other scientific disciplines. Sociologists use various scientific methods to study society. These include observations, surveys, interviews, questionnaires, case studies, and statistical analysis. For example, if a sociologist wants to study unemployment, they may conduct surveys among different groups of people, collect data, analyze trends, and draw conclusions based on evidence. The use of these methods helps sociology maintain a scientific approach for studying social life. Auguste Comte, known as the father of sociology, strongly believed that society should be studied scientifically. He introduced the concept of positivism. According to positivism, genuine knowledge comes from observation and scientific investigation. Comte argued that sociology should discover social laws, such as natural sciences discover laws of nature. He believed that scientific study would help us understand society and solve social problems more effectively. Emile Durkheim further strengthened the scientific status of sociology through his famous study of suicide. Traditionally, people viewed suicide as a purely personal act. However, Durkheim collected statistical data from different societies and discovered that social factors such as social integration and social regulation influence suicide rates. His research demonstrated that social facts can be studied objectively and scientifically. This remains one of the strongest examples supporting sociology as a science. Several arguments support the view that sociology is a science. First, it uses scientific methods of research. Second, it relies on empirical evidence. Third, it develops theories based on systematic observation. Fourth, it studies cause and effect relationships within society. Finally, sociology produces organized and reliable knowledge about social life. Because of these features, many scholars classify sociology as a scientific discipline. Despite these strengths, sociology faces several criticisms regarding its scientific status. Human behavior is complex and unpredictable. Unlike objects in nature, human beings have emotions, beliefs, and free will. Society is also constantly changing, making prediction difficult. Controlled experiments are often impossible in social settings. Furthermore, sociologists themselves are part of society, which can make complete objectivity difficult to achieve. These factors make sociology different from natural sciences such as physics and chemistry. Weber offered a different perspective. He argued that sociology should not only explain behavior but also understand the meanings people attach to their actions. He introduced the concept of Verstehen, meaning interpretative understanding. According to Weber, social actions can only be fully understood when we understand the motives, intentions, and meanings behind them. Therefore, sociology requires both scientific analysis and interpretative understanding. Considering both sides of the debate, most sociologists agree that sociology possesses many scientific characteristics. It uses systematic methods, evidence, and logical analysis. However, because its subject matter is human society, sociology cannot function exactly like natural sciences. Therefore, sociology is best described as a social science, a discipline that combines scientific methods with the study of human behavior and social relationships. Let us briefly summarize today's discussion. Sociology uses scientific methods and empirical evidence. Auguste Comte promoted positivism and scientific study of society. Durkheim demonstrated scientific research through his study of suicide. Critics point out that human behavior is complex and difficult to predict. Max Weber emphasized understanding meanings through Verstehen. As a result, sociology is widely recognized as a social science. Before ending the lecture, here are some important UPSC practice questions. First, is sociology a science? Discuss. Second, examine the scientific nature of sociology. Third, discuss Auguste Comte's contribution to sociology as a science. Fourth, explain Max Weber's criticism of positivism. These questions are frequently asked in UPSC Sociology optional and should be prepared thoroughly. Thank you for watching this lecture on sociology as a science. If you found this lecture useful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel Sociology with Dr. Umabati. Stay connected for the next lecture in our UPSC Sociology optional series. Thank you and have a great day.